here. Mostly I will pick whichever the one of the five which I like, and I will convert that. Then next I will ask, can you give me a PowerPoint to build this and how to solve? Then I will give a PowerPoint. I'll go in the hackathon and I'll present it off. Now, this is where the problem is. The problem here is that whenever you are feeding in more and more data with similar kinds of queries, the model is also learning continuously. Now, this is for sure, like Manoj sir, this is for sure that whenever you enter your data, it is used for public training. But to answer your first question, which says, is it being externally exposed to public? As of now, no. So when you are giving me like the data, like it is as good as now you submitted some feedback to me every day, right? I can use that feedback. I have all the rights to use that feedback to improve my communication and presentation skills. But I do not have the right to give your email ID or your name to somebody else to send you ads without your consent. This is exactly even how ChatGPT and AI tools work. They use it for their internal training, but they don't expose you to the public. But then the question is, why did I ask you in the beginning of the call to avoid uploading your personal data? Because it may not use or expose it to somebody else, but then there can be cyber attacks on ChatGPT as an organization also. So the problem starts when there are evil-minded people who attack a specific organization which has large volumes of data only to gain your personal information. So for example, I don't know, 3 days ago, if you see, there was a massive cyber attack across the West Europe region. Okay, so in Europe, London has 3 or 4 airports, all of them had gone down, right? So a lot of this happened because there were continuous cyber attacks and the system went very slow, right? So what I am trying to convey here is, while they can use it for training themselves and giving them better. So everybody is writing the same problem on ChatGPT and ChatGPT is giving the same answers. That is why in the hackathon also you see the same solutions. So that is their internal training. But by law, as of now, or by contract, they cannot expose your public information, your private information anywhere publicly. But if there is an attack, then you never know. You may lose all of your data. For example, even your Gmail passwords, right? So if there is an attack and Google fails to protect itself against a cyber attack, then your data leak might easily happen. So uh, did I answer your question, sir? Okay, thanks. Now let's pick the other question. Agentic AI, right? So, okay, let's talk about what's going on right now. So we discussed about, let's say, three things in the beginning. I think on day one, we discussed about narrow AI. Then we discussed about general AI. And then we discussed about super AI, right? So there were three kinds. Now, I think it would be a little easy if I pull that PowerPoint as well. So you could see, I think we discussed this in this one. So yeah, we had narrow AI, we had general AI, and then we had super intelligent or super AI. Okay, so what we talked here, let's come back and maybe so that you could relate it, I'll write it exactly what it is. Now, in narrow AI, what we have machine learning. Now, I'm just trying to give you some subsets. You have machine learning, you have deep learning.
Sir, if possible,
Then
can you
you
share
have,
your screen, sir?
sorry, was my screen not shared? I'm really sorry. Thanks. So yeah, so now I have just pulled up the presentation for narrow AI versus general AI and super intelligent AI. With the help of this, I will explain you what is agentic. See, within narrow AI, you usually have what we already have: machine learning, deep learning, generative AI. Now, in generative AI, what are we doing? See, deep learning and machine learning is about predictions. Generative AI, please understand this very carefully, and let's just remove super intelligent AI and general AI for now. Let's focus on generative AI. Then we will go on AI agents. And then finally, we will come on agentic AI. So one example, I will explain all of it. Your problem statement is to read an email from one of the client and respond. This is your problem statement. Let's see how this problem statement can be solved using different AI types. Problem statement is read an email from a client and then respond with the right facts. Okay, that's all. That's all. You are basically supposed to send an email. That's all is your problem statement. Now, what do you do? When you start typing email, then there is something called auto suggestion. What is auto suggestion? Like exactly what I'm doing here. So for example, I make it client. It automatically corrects, Grammarly automatically corrects and makes it client. This auto suggestion, right, is your machine learning into play. Simple. This is your machine learning into play, which is autocorrect. Basically, autocorrect is in a way machine learning, or I would say, yeah, let's make it even more precise. Auto correction is machine learning. Okay. So when you are typing something and then you make a mistake and somebody tries to correct it, that is machine learning. Second step. What is deep learning here? Deep learning means your model is able to identify and also predict what is going to be your next word. That means auto suggestion. That is fundamentally deep learning, wherein your model is capable of understanding that when I have addressed somebody, so how it learns again, see, that is very important, how it learns. Machine learning usually does not have a background context, but deep learning, because it extracts layers, it has more of a context. So I will explain it to you. So yeah, this was autocorrect, right? So let's say when I was writing the email, what did I write? I wrote, someone has been on this task so far. His answer will be correct. Suppose like this, I was typing the email. Okay. Then the moment you write, I will inform. Okay. Now see, this is exactly where deep learning comes into play. I wrote this. The model learned there is a person called Naman and I am addressing that person as his. So the moment you write, I will inform, it starts suggesting you him instead of her. This is exactly how deep learning is affecting you or addressing your problem. So whenever you go towards auto suggestion, that means predicting. So you must have seen uh, the moment I write, please, I add an attachment. Like, let me show it very practically to you. Suppose this is my email. Now in my email, I go ahead and I try to compose something. When I try to compose what I do, now I try to add a document. Now you just see how deep learning is playing a role here. I will write, please find, or probably, let's say hi. Please find attached the document. For some reason, it doesn't work here. I don't know why, but normally what happens is the moment I add an attachment, it starts saying, please find attached. The moment I write, please, it says, please find attached the document. Okay. Or let's say, thank you. Let me discard this. Sushmita ma'am, could you please go on mute?
I did. I'm muted.
Okay, okay. Okay, so otherwise, what we could do is like, let's say you receive an email and then you basically try to reply to an email, right? In all such cases, what you will see, it automatically gives you, please find attached this information. So this is basically what? This is basically deep learning. Now, what is generative AI here? The third step is if you do not want to read the email, you just feed this entire email into ChatGPT and then ask it to create an email. This is where Gen AI comes into play. So basically, what is generative AI? Just understand it carefully. Provide a part of the information as context to further generate and synthesize further information or further, yeah, information as response. So basically what is happening in generative AI is if you provide it a part of the information, it completes and builds the entire future chat based on that specific context. That is why, see, when you see ChatGPT, I would have talked about different things. For example, I work on Terraform in my office. So I first gave it a piece of code and then I said, okay, this is the remaining part of the code like this. And then I ask it a question. For example, now he says, I get a full picture. Now it gives me certain Terraform code. I reply it back saying, once I run this, I get this error message. Then he again corrects me. So basically, when you provide a part of the information and rest of the information is auto generated based on the context. See, two words are very important here: synthesize and context. Whatever context you are giving to your general generative AI model, based on top, it is generating all the future chat or information or conversation with you. That is generative AI. So if like so far it is clear, then probably I will go to the fourth one, which is AI agents. Now, what are AI agents here? AI agents are somebody who can perform autonomous tasks independently for you. But one word is very important here, which is autonomous specific tasks. That means they cannot they cannot do all tasks for you, but they can do certain tasks for you. Now let's get back to the definition. See, as I said, so maybe let me open it in a new tab. Yeah, this one. So see, as I said, generative AI generates such content based on some context. Now, AI agents, they combine generative AI and agentic capabilities to accomplish complex objectives. And what does an agentic AI do? It performs tasks autonomously. So if you come back to this example, what an AI agent would do is an AI agent will help you in the email in such a way that the moment you ask AI agent to respond to the email, it will draft the email and ask for a confirmation to send it back. Also, identifying and recommending necessary attachments and info. So basically what? Suppose you are using a AI agent, which is like a plugin in your browser. For example, I will tell you now, let's say I am using this. Can you see this small icon in my browser here? This is basically to change dark and light mode. So like, let's say this is how my Google looks. Okay, now suppose I search for hello. Okay, and then maybe I get some information. Look at this. The moment I do this and I refresh, it should probably show me the light mode of Google. I don't know why this doesn't work, but a browser plugin like this will help you draft your email automatically and also give you recommendations on this is how you could reply. AI agents are not are mostly integrated in specific tools. That is why they are called agents. See, generative AI is a platform wherein it does, once you give it a context, it can build information on top of that and it can recreate and synthesize. AI agents can recreate, can synthesize, but only in a very narrow or specific scope. Like in case of Outlook plugin, it will be an email. In case of Chrome, it will be like a dark mode, light mode thing, or it could be like summarize. For example, for writing, it could be Grammarly. These are all AI agents for me in action. Now, the last thing here is agentic AI. Now, what is agentic AI doing? Agentic AI here basically will automatically send the emails after attaching the right document for you in the email, and also has the ability to add the right web references and right audience from your organization. So suppose in the email, as I said, let's say I am somebody else and I was talking about Naman, right? So what an agentic AI would do is it would not only send the email, but would automatically add this person into the email as well, saying that we are able to tag. So it is like complete flexibility to act on the entire problem statement automatically. This is where agentic AI comes into play. So is this clear now? So automatically your email would be sent, the right people would be tagged, and all of this is happening with the combination of your generative AI and AI agents. Specific AI agents will help you act, and generative AI will help you in decision making. Combining these two, you can develop something like agentic AI and build specific plugins for specific enterprises. Another example of this would be, given a document like a home loan document, if the bank person or the loan employee exactly wants to know if it is a yes or a no, right? If it is a yes or a no for the loan to be passed, this is an example of agentic AI, right? So wherein all the citations or all the important things are extracted, and there is a decision chart saying because of so and so things, we are rejecting or we are accepting this specific document. So when it is doing something on your behalf and you give it the right permissions to act upon it, then that is agentic AI. For an example, suppose now I for a company and then I am out of office today. I am not working today. Then ultimately, I want my Gmail to take an action on my behalf saying if the email is less important, then automatically respond that I am out of office. But if the email is more critical, then it automatically sends an alert to me as well that there is something critical already going on. So that based on the information that is present in your, let's say, data set, it is able to take certain decisions and also act upon it. Wherever decision making plus action is combined, it is so wherever decision making and this action taking is combined, that becomes agentic AI. Wherever you have information being synthesized based on some context, that is generative AI, and wherever there are only specific actions which are autonomous, they are AI agents. Now you can tell me if you have any questions regarding this. With the same email example, I just tried explaining all the 5 different types of, buzzwords. Now, any questions? Great. So then, yeah, now let's quickly just deep dive into all of this. So let's just understand some case studies, okay? The first case study is from one of the universities from Australia, wherein somebody tried to build an integrity bot. Now, these are very relevant to your research papers as well. So the business problem was that there were like so many, what do you say, third-party websites which host a lot of material which is submitted by students. So across the globe, there are students submitting their own papers, right? So how do you reduce the how do you identify which one is the original? So in a way, like there is not too much of overlapping between the documents. So for that, it does the probability matching, okay, to rank the documents which are most likely to be copyrights, right? So like hundreds or lakhs of people, lakhs of students in a university across the years are submitting research papers. How do you know if this one actually is being taken from a copyright source or not? So for all of that, some university built an integrity bot. The outcome was that thousands of takedown requests were submitted and actioned, and education team could now centrally coordinate. So it was like a central data hub for the university, right? So you could definitely try to recommend something for your college or university level, that let's build an integrity bot like this. And trust me, like maybe it is already done in University of Sydney, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be re-implemented, right? Because their use case would have been different. Here, the use case might be different. So there can always be like, more than 20% of deviation based on existing ideas. So this way they were able to actively monitor and manage the materials going forward in the entire Sydney University. So this was like one case, right, of building an integrity bot where in academics or in research field, AI was being utilized. The other one is student ticket active case insights. So in the industry, there is a very common practice called SNOW, like service now, right? So what is service now? So it's like now, suppose you just bought a washing machine, your washing machine is not working. They will say, hey, go to the website and raise a support ticket. That same ticket everybody is raising. Now, when everybody is raising, it becomes really difficult for the team to automatically identify which ticket is actually important and which ticket is a waste. Some people there might just want their money back, and that is why they will raise unnecessary support ticket without any valid reason. Some people's reason might actually be valid. So how do you automatically identify and classify the right set of emails or support requests to the customer support executive, right? This was the student ticket active case insights. So improving response times to student inquiries. Universities receive 3 lakh student tickets every year. Many tickets wait for over 7 days, right? So sometimes, let's say, for them to produce some information, that information is valid only for 1 week. And in 1 week, you are responding to your ticket, to his ticket. He would lose that information, right? So that is why on time and in time solution and recovery is very important for such kind of critical email tickets. So that is why the challenge was to understand the ticket priority and how it was built. An active ticket insights dashboard, something like this, like it's a very vague screenshot I took from there. So 90% accuracy on the ticket prediction, they were able to filter down the right emails or the right tickets to the right people so that actions could be taken really fast. So yeah, this was one more being used in academia. Now there's one more very relevant to the context of Bangalore. So Singapore's smart traffic management. So this is a very famous case study by Singapore. And as I said, the first two were more related to academics, but now we are moving towards sustainable cities, right? So we all on a day-to-day basis face issues in Bangalore regarding traffic and all those things. So you see what Singapore did 2 decades ago. This was in early 2000s, wherein the problem was that there was too much congestion on the roads of Singapore. Also, like because it was like overpopulated. So Singapore's AI-driven traffic system right now adjusts all the signals in real time. They have successfully reduced the travel time by 30% and improved public transport efficiency by 25%. Now let's see how Singapore came up with such a number. So what was the problem? The problem was it's a small city state. City state basically means like the capital and the city was like same. That the city capital and the state were same with a high population density. Now traffic congestion was causing a lot of delays, inefficiency, and also over honking. So that over honking is not just an air pollution, but also like air pollution is anyway when the vehicle is anyway in start mode, but then just emitting gases but not moving. But also over honking causes a lot of noise pollution. And at night, like you have too much of cars, showing up on the roads, then that is also in a way light pollution, right? So all of these things. So traditional traffic light systems were fixed, timed, and unable to adapt. That means now you take any nearby signal of Bangalore, you will realize that yeah, two minutes everywhere it is there, right? So now this has slowly changed to VAC. I will come to that later, but yeah, for now the public transport buses were also getting affected because of long commute times in Singapore. How did they solve? They came up with a central hub within the city called the centralized AI system, which did real-time traffic monitoring. That means the traffic signals were adaptive. When you know that from point A to point B, there is a person or there is a vehicle which has to commute, and there are five signals in the middle, the fourth and the third one are already open, then probably you would try to have a better decision on whether the first and second should be opened at this point or closed at that point, right? So basically this adaptive traffic signal. So now on a central hub like maybe Saraki signal or your Marthandi or wherever the famous ones, right? They decide based on the congestion of the traffic, which signal to open or which side to open. So there are chances now that not all of the signals are given 2 minutes, but some person is given just 35 seconds and somebody is given 2.5 minutes based on the congestion. This is what is smart adaptive traffic signals, which now we started calling in Bangalore as VAC. Again, this technology is basically called vehicle actuated control. Vehicle actuated control. This is the technology that right now Bangalore is using and which was like used almost 2 decades ago in Singapore, right? So this is how they could manage. Apart from this, what they also did is predictive analytics for congestion reduction by proactive signal adjustments. As I said, looking at the forecast of because they now know the status of all the open signals for a commute direction from point A to point B, so they could control the signals better. And then there were dedicated lanes for all the public transport, and they could easily identify where a flyover is actually needed and where it is not needed, right? So with all of this becoming very centralized, right, they could act. So this is a very famous case study, and you look at the numbers, reduce travel time by 30%, which is like a very big thing. Public transport efficiency by 25%. So this naturally controls a lot of parameters like pollution, congestion, and all of that just by making things centralized and making the power of predictive analytics into action. Okay. Then we have Barcelona's smart waste management system. So this is also a very important case study, again for sustainable cities. That basically means now we've all seen smart waste management system, but what we have seen so far in waste management is waste segregation. Like there's some dry waste, there's some wet waste, and then how do you segregate plastics out of it? I think this has been a problem which has been solved using object detection and all of that. Now this is more towards IoT. Now, okay, by the way, where is Barcelona? Barcelona is a place in Spain. And what they did is they tried to optimize the waste collection rules, right? So how? Using artificial intelligence and IoT together. This way, let's first look at what was the problem and how they solved it. Then we'll look at the numbers. So the problem that the city was facing is, let's say there's an event in somebody, like in your neighborhood, there's an event. There's too many people coming in, too much waste. They next morning they go, they dump all the waste in the public place, and then that is like, first of all, it stinks. It can cause a lot of diseases, etc. And then it scatters on the road. So there are a lot of problems when there is unexpected amount of waste from a specific area which is uncollected and is overflowing. Then you have unnecessary fuel and labor cost, because sometimes what happens in a specific area, for some reason there are 100 houses and 30 of them are probably not there. So that time the whole bin is not even full. Why do you think should BBMP go and collect it on that specific day? Probably they can go to the next day, right, and collect it. So sometimes it is not filled. Unnecessary, the vehicle goes there, wastes a lot of fuel, labor time is wasted. And then there are environmental concerns, as you know. What did they do? They see, I would like to take some time to explain you this example also, because it is very important that when you write your research paper, please make it commercially viable. You know how, see, you implement a lot of AI tools. Do you think they run for free? All the AI systems? No. So in Barcelona, they said, we will put a sensor. As soon as the waste bin is full, the sensor would alert, and in the morning, there will be a report generated saying these are the actual places where the waste is actually full. And using route optimization, there is one single or like two, three vehicles just going and collecting at the specific places. Well, the solution is very nice, but it requires AI, right? And you require a lot of calculation. Who's going to bear that cost? So what did they smartly do? And however, and also you cannot take electricity directly to your dustbins. So how do you solve these two problems? Two things they did. First, the bin which was closed, right above the bin, they put a solar panel to charge the IoT sensors, because sensors operate on batteries to push information to the cloud. That was one smart way. Second, who is going to pay for the sensor? So many sensors, so many waste bins. How do you deploy? They put digital screens on all four sides of the dustbin, and they started running ads, right? So if you are a local person, you want to show some ads about your shop, right? You could run ads on the dustbins. That way they could make some money. They utilized all of that money and then bought more and more sensors and then tried to centralize the whole waste system. That is where AI and GIS based route optimization was not that expensive for them. On demand waste collection saved a lot of fuel. Now look at the results. Collection routes were optimized using AI, reduced the waste collection cost by 20% because the vehicles were not unnecessarily going to different places. There was lower fuel consumption, so carbon emissions came down. The streets looked cleaner because there were fewer overflowing bins and more efficient use of labor and resources in waste management. So this way, like these are some case studies or some research papers whose outcomes have been fundamentally implemented in various cities. So like, does it make sense? Any questions so far? Any questions? Are these helpful? Like these case studies helpful for you? Like at least you could now understand in which direction to head to, right? While you start working on your research papers, or how AI has created impact in sustainable places, right? Any questions so far? Okay, if not, then let's look at the next one. Again, this is from Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a city in Netherlands. And the problem that they had is that they are kind of low lying. So there are water bodies all around and there are high chances of floods. Apart from that, water wastage was a big problem. So, and water wastage is a natural problem anywhere where water is present, right? So now overuse of water in irrigation, that is also a problem. So what did they do? They used IoT based flood prevention system. That means whenever the water goes to a certain level or is expected to go above a certain level, they used water pipelines to divert and distribute the load of water across different places. This way, they could take timely actions. How this also helped them further is, even in Bangalore, like you see last year, not everywhere there was water shortage. Some places people were still wasting water, for example, in malls or maybe in high-rise apartments. But in some places there was actually tankers going up. So how could you do this how they improved this problem in Amsterdam? They came up with a centralized water system. IoT sensors are placed everywhere. Now, how AI comes into play? See, IoT systems can tell you here water consumption is high, here water consumption is low. Or let's say like here there's no water, here there's water. But how AI helps here? Common sense. Every morning you just look at your house for one single day and observe that every day while your kid is going to school or your husband's going to office or your wife is going to office or you both are going, that time your water consumption would suddenly increase. During daytime, when there are fewer people in the house, the water consumption comes down. Evening, when you come back, it increases. During cooking, it increases, right? So with all of this analysis, you have the right data that in which area, what is the exact timing of water consumption. Now, this might vary. In a central city where there are some offices which are open at night time, the water consumption is high at night. Some places it's low at night, right? And then you can adjust in terms of you can balance the timings. Some places 7 to 9 in the morning consumption is high. Some places 9 to 11 the consumption is high. Some places, let's say in probably rural areas where people wake up early, 4 to 7 it's high, right? So with all of this data that you collect, you can predict at what place more water is needed at what time. This is one. Secondly, suppose you leave your tap on and you go by mistake, or if there's a leakage in your house and there's water getting wasted. Because your AI algorithms know that at this point, normally you don't use so much water, they understand that there might be some leakage and that is why your water consumption has increased suddenly at 12 o'clock where nobody is there at your home. That way, IoT sensors could be actionable. They will immediately trigger an event which will shut down the water supply of your house for some time till you are back and you raise a complaint to fix it. This way you could save, as I said, they have saved 20% of their water on an annual basis based on these things, right? Like 50%, 15% of waste reduction. So this is how Amsterdam used to create a centralized water system wherein if there are floods, they redirect it to different channels. If there is more usage, they cut it short. Or if there is less usage or there is more demand somewhere and less supply, they could balance the demand supply gap. So likewise, there are a lot of case studies like this where you could think like there's one in New York, like the smart grids. Can you see the savings that New York did in past 1 year? $290 million just by using smart meters. So again, you see they have a central control system and they have intelligent grid systems. So wherever there's no electricity, probably they could redirect the electricity there instead of having more losses. Now, there are electrical concepts here wherein you cannot stop the loss of a certain amount of electricity, but at least you could probably, using this smart grid, try to raise an alarm to people who are over consuming and who are under consuming. You could have a reward based mechanism. You could have statistics of what your what your city needs. For example, based on weather conditions, are your solar panels capable of actually generating the amount of electricity that is needed, or do you also require wind? And if you require windmills, then is your city weather or climate making wind panels, windmills sustainable? So taking better business decisions is where AI really helps you. And the moment you start connecting the dots using IoT and collecting more and more data, you tend to take better business decisions, right? So again, the aging infrastructure was solved, like wherever there are issues, you could easily identify. wherever there's suddenly an unpredictable energy demand, like in case of an event or something, right? So you could redirect energy supply there. Those kind of things New York used to do. Then, as I said, medical discoveries, right? So I just added very diverse case studies for you so that it helps. There's this antibiotic called helicin, which was very recently, I think 6 or 8 months back. This was discovered, right, using AI. How? So AI tool could screen 107 million molecules and discover the potential antibiotic by doing what? By narrowing down from 10 raised to the power 8 all the way to 10 raised to the power 4. So basically different combinations of molecules, which one could actually act on a specific type of disease. Instead of some person doing manual tests, if AI algorithms could predict, right? That because in the past, for such tests based on such diseases, this is how this kind of molecule has behaved. So it could potentially behave like this. AI algorithms cannot exactly give you the solution, but they can narrow down your problem statement. So instead of doing 1 lakh tests, now you achieve a result only in 10,000 tests. This is where your filtering down works in medical discovery. So you tend to identify things faster. And I just added this exact chemical formula of helicin, which was a compound identified by the machine learning software. And it proves to be an excellent antibiotic, despite its unusual structure for this class of the drug, right? So faster testing, better business decisions, etc. Now, I want to introduce you to this one tool, which would be like really helpful for you across your research papers, which is called Semantic Scholar. So I just attached the screenshot. So when you Google, you just identify. So this is the tool for literature review and idea generation. You could just sign up there, like create a few account and see. It's called Semantic Scholar. It helps you with everything, like generating more questions and then identifying the right types of problem statements, doing some research, everything end to end. Okay, so yeah, so far, any questions in the topics that I have covered? Was it helpful? Okay, any other doubts or questions? Then we will do some very little hands-on, but I would like to show you more and more information in that hands-on. So I am sure like that is not something which you cannot do on your own. What I planned for hands-on is I will just help you write some right prompts, right? I just want to explain you what kind of prompts could help you in your research paper. And before I go that, as promised, these are the AI tools. Probably if you want, you can take screenshots or I can also paste these in the chat. These are the AI tools for academic research, which have like outperformed other AI tools. So I just did some research and collected these ones for you. Reply.io, Logo.io, Hitpop, Murph, ChatGPT is anywhere there, pick three. And then out of them, there are some 5 or 6 which are mostly, for let's say these research tools have performed the best so far this year. So I just explicitly added them. Maybe these ones could prove better compared to these ones, but I leave that to your choice. I mean, my task is to just give you more and more options, whichever works for whoever of you. I think you can use them and you can start with your research, right? So yeah, maybe you can take screenshots. I'll wait for 10 more seconds. Okay. Okay, so before quiz, I think yeah, it's time for hands-on. So we'll do a simple exercise wherein choose any favorite AI tool of yours. I will not restrict you to any specific AI tool. And I am sharing this public document link with you. Just step by step, try to give these prompts to your AI tool and see what are the results. So how this is going to help you is like, if you see, what I've done here is I'm just trying to show you how to draft a simple research question with the help of AI. So for that, the first prompt is to suggest 10 specific research questions about AI to detect plagiarism in university assignments. Okay. Now I have taken this example so that it is more relatable to you since you very frequently deal with this. So what I will do is maybe I will open a new chat. Now, what is very important here is there are even when you go to like tools like them, they have different AI models. So like they have a Scholar GPT. What is a Scholar GPT? That is very much for academics. That means if you have some issues, like if you have a very huge textbook and you want to generate notes out of it, then probably Scholar GPT might help. So I will come to that, but for now, just open a new chat, just paste the prompt. That's all. As simple as that. If you do this, this one is going to give you certain examples. Okay, this one is going to give you like, okay, some ideas on how you could identify what is wrong in your research papers, right? Like when there are lakhs of research papers or assignments submitted to you by your students, how do you identify when there is plagiarism on? For that, you are trying to write a research paper. And for that, the first prompt that you give is suggest me 10 specific research questions about using AI to detect plagiarism. Then you go to the next question and you write, let's say, from these 10 questions, pick three most feasible for a small 6-month faculty research project and explain why they are feasible. So what are you doing here? You start with a context, you get some response, you use that response as a context again. And please know, whenever you write your prompt, and like be very careful, whenever you write your prompt outcome should be an action. Like whenever you write a prompt, you should always clearly specify your model. What is the outcome? For example, the outcome here is picking the three most feasible projects. Otherwise, your model, and that is why you see the response is very specific. There is no too much information which is overwhelming for you, not too much of reading. Again, when you see, they are clearly just explaining you with a reason why they are choosing these three algorithms. So are you able to like follow it so far? Could you like try out in any AI tool of yours? This is a public link. I'm sure you are able to access the document. I would not go for a very high intensive hands-on since it is the last day, but so on and so forth. You can try all the different prompts. Okay, so for example, now out of these three, list the key keywords and 6 precise Google Scholar search queries that I can use to check prior research. So can you see? Using one AI tool, you are also asking the tool to give some more Google Scholar search queries. So now the model is exactly telling you what you need to Google to find the relevant information to your research paper, right? So as I said, like I have very carefully like tried and tested these prompts, and that is why I tried to give them to you so that it is, easier for you. So I request all of you to like at least maybe just go to file and download this document. It will later on definitely help you in doing some writing your own research paper. Like I see only one person right now has joined the document. So if you want, like I can also, anyway, I have pasted the link. I will later paste the link in the WhatsApp group also. You can try out. Now I want to draw your attention to a couple of more things on how you could use. So suppose there's a new scheme. Now I'm being very practical here, like what challenges you actually face. So suppose now what happens, there is a new subject. Let's say, for example, deep learning, which has come. Okay. Now, when this subject has come, you may need to prepare some notes, your lecture notes or whatever. What you do is, instead of wasting a lot of time, like, see, one way is find deep learning notes. Now you Google, you find some notes like this. You may or may not like it. And also it might not be relevant for your students to actually write something which is there on the web, because people expect from the textbook. What I will ask you to do in such cases is, and I just start with a point that you have your textbook. Go to the textbook. Let me open the textbook, for example. Now, let's say I have this textbook for deep learning. I'm giving a very practical use case on how I built it. This textbook is having, let's say, 10 different things. Okay. Like there are probably 30, 40 chapters, but let's say for your module one of your syllabus, you have chapter one, for example, or let's say chapter five. What I did is first, I went to a tool called Split PDF. Now you see how I'm trying to generate resource material for me as a faculty member or as a teacher to for a new subject. I go to this website called I Love PDF, click on a PDF, like select your PDF. Let's say I go to the deep learning place. I upload the entire textbook. Anyway, it's a public textbook. Now suppose from this place, I find that page number 168 onwards, this specific chapter starts, let's say machine learning basics. So I search for machine learning basics, which starts from page number 99. So I then go back to, let's say, a specific page number 99. And I see the page number 99 here in the textbook is actually page number 113 in my PDF. Okay. So now let me go from 113. Let's see where this ends. This ends to 165. What I do is I try to split this PDF. Okay. So I go to range and I pick from 113, which was the start point, to 180, for example. What I'm trying to do, I'm first trying to extract a specific chapter from the entire textbook. Let's say I click on download split PDF. Now, the moment you like download, what you will get essentially here is you will get something like this specific chapter like this. See, now you get a PDF exactly from chapter 5 all the way till the end. Okay, only one chapter you got, that's all, only one chapter. Now, when you do this, or let's say I actually combined it with the chapter number 6 as well. So two chapters are one module. Now what I do next is I go to a AI tool like ChatGPT, where I open the Scholar GPT. Then I say, can you please summarize the below topics from the uploaded PDF? Now, what topics? For topics, what do? I again, for topics, what do? I should have the syllabus copy anyway with me. So let's say I will open the syllabus copy and then probably extract something very specific. For example, let's say something like this. Yeah, I will pick just one module to show you. So now I want my AI model to summarize these topics for me based on exactly the textbook that I am feeding it. So I go to chapters and I go to module 1 and then I upload. Okay. This way I can, whatever it summarizes, right? I can use them in my slides. I can use them for my lecture notes. I can forward it to my students. But one thing which is very important is I also go through the textbook, read it thoroughly and understand, and then I can easily summarize and I know whether it has summarized it is effectively or not. And you see, the topics are step by step be given by ChatGPT. This way you could easily use. Now, let's say the textbook has even more equations for stochastic gradient descent, which I do not see here. So what do? I do, let's say, copy this topic, or maybe let's do it for SGD only. So I copy this topic and say, can you explain the stochastic gradient descent in much more detail with right textbook equations? Let's see what this one offers us. Can you see? Now, this is exactly how it can ease your life on a day-to-day basis, right? So now what do you do? Like, it's pretty easy for me to, let's say, if this is my PowerPoint, probably what do? I add a new slide here. I go back. I, let's say, press Windows Shift S. I grab this and then I directly come and paste it here. My slides are ready in a way. Probably if I'm not happy, I want more interactive slides, then probably what do? I search for stochastic gradient descent, let's say as a topic, maybe, yeah, I copy this, I go to Google, I search for specific images for it. And then whichever image I think should be useful for me to explain this concept to my student, I would probably download that and put it back to my slide. So within an hour, right, for one whole module, you can create your slides. Right now, if you want to learn, probably you got the slides from somewhere. You want to learn, then you can always tell, ex like just keep on giving your prompts, right? I am just trying to explain you how AI tools can help you on a day-to-day basis. So does this make sense? Do you find it useful now, like how you could just, because probably if you look at the size of your textbook, the size of the textbook would be like really high. So maybe you may not be able to upload the whole, textbook of like 160 MBs or something to your AI tool for free. But you can definitely split it into a PDF and then you can upload, right? So this is exactly what I wanted to also show you, that AI in, everyday life. This is one example. Now, another example. Now, suppose you want to make your class very interactive, but then again, for that, who will generate quiz every time, right? Like now I had to generate quiz for all 5 days. So how do you think I would have done it? Honestly, I did not go to Google and like one by one feeding all the questions. So I want to show you a practical approach on how you could generate. Okay. So for that, let's do one thing. Let's probably, I will show you again. First, try to log into Gmail. Maybe you can follow it along with me, but due to lack of time, I'm just trying to show you quickly that how you can actually do it. So let's say you log into your Gmail. And this holds good for anything. Like I'm just showing you something like this, but this actually holds good for everything. So maybe go to forms. Once you go to forms, click on blank form. Obviously, you want to create from scratch. Now don't do anything here. Let's get back. Suppose this was your module and you want a question, right? Do one thing. Now look at my prompt. Give me 20 questions quiz based on the above topics to assess my students better. I want a Google Apps script to create a Google form for this. Okay, this is my prompt. Now, while it is generating the output, let me show you what is Google Apps script. Click on three dots, app script. So basically anything that you do using this interface on your website is anyway being done via some code, right? Now, I may not be super cool at programming in JavaScript. You may also not be very good at JavaScript, but the AI is, right. So let's just use it. So what we do, come back. This one has given us some questions. Okay. Now, ultimately, after giving the questions and the right answer, it also gave us something like a Google Apps script. What do? I come back here, delete the entire thing and paste. Exactly. Nothing much. Paste, save, and then run. Absent-mindedly without applying any brain. I am just running this app script and you will see the results here on your form. Yes, very important because you are automating something. As I said, you have to give permissions in the email example also for your AI agent to send the email on your behalf. Similarly, I am giving the right permission that on behalf of my email ID and on behalf of me, a new form is being created by Google. So permissions you can definitely give, nothing very big there. And you see execution started. Now you will see within 30 seconds what's gonna happen. By the way, okay, execution is completed. Now you look at this complicated script. Otherwise, you just look here. Let me refresh. I think maybe I closed the script by mistake. Let me check again. So I will pick up something very much related to the quiz that I gave you itself. So let's say there is an app script to generate the quiz. Again, you copy it rightly, go back to your specific thing. Yeah, maybe it did not run properly or I'm not sure. I will save this. Maybe I will give it a better name, for example, test, just in case it is causing any conflict. So that debugging you will have to do on your own, saying, okay, what may go wrong, what may not go wrong. Oh, by the way, it had already generated, you see. I think it was just a refresh issue. So AI in academic research and teaching quiz, and then you see all the questions have automatically come up, and it's like now you just have to rename. Even the renaming is done. So can you see, like, after you run all of this, you see an output. Now tell me, like, how much time does it take to just click on publish anyone with the link and then copy this URL, right? Copy this URL, share it with your students, and you're done. So every day within 3 minutes, or like you can do it in one go for the entire semester. I think it's that easy. Now, if you want to make it even more better, what you could do probably, instead of sharing the link, go to a browser, paste the link. Now, probably if it's a bit difficult, right click, create QR code for this. So you can, once you have the QR code, I think people can just download that QR code and then put it in your slides. So students can use their mobile phones and then they could use this QR code easily, right? So I just wanted to like make this entire activity little easy for you so that you can also, relate to what you do on a very like day-to-day basis. So I hope this was helpful because everybody, like, you are dealing with so many students and then so many new topics every day, so many subjects, you have internal assessment, so many things. So I hope like this session was overall useful for you. I did not focus much on hands-on today, but I wanted to give you more information in a short span of time because it was the last day. So now let's come back to the quiz, right? So yeah, this is the quiz. You can definitely take it up later also, or for those who want to give it right now, you can obviously scan the QR code. Okay, and you can submit the quiz by 7 today again, since it's the last day, and then we will finalize the responses, and then we will do an internal evaluation. And then whoever is eligible, whoever has outperformed, we are not restricting it to 3 because I think we just want to give it to openly to most of you. Whoever has performed like really well in the quiz, we will definitely roll out some vouchers and give you some offers on all the courses that we do. If you do not want to like do it yourself, probably you want your students to take care of that, you can nominate your students also. Even they can take courses from us and they can learn. So first thing, yeah, probably I will send the link of the feedback form. So yeah, this is the day 5 quiz feedback. Sorry, day 5 quiz form. I am posting it in the chat. Typing quiz. And then, yeah, the last thing is, yeah, the feedback form. I think it is the same. You can go back to the same feedback form and once again give the feedback. Or I will also share this link later in the WhatsApp group. If you want to give it now, you can give. The last 10 minutes, I will open up for questions. Any questions, any doubts, anything you couldn't ask like in the past 5 days and you want to ask us. I will keep an eye on the chat as well. Anything you would like to know? Was the session helpful?
Speakers can unmute.
Okay, I think very few people are responding. Anybody else like anything which you found like
Yeah, you can
anything?
unmute and speak, Manoj.
It was a great informative session, sir. I got cleared all the doubts. Thank you.
Anybody else among the participants, if you just want to speak anything about the FTP, you can speak. We appreciate your feedback.
I think you would have already
Hmm.
written enough in the feedback forms also.
Yeah.
So that's okay if you are like too tired to speak now. But okay, but yeah, thank you so much, like the entire management of BIT once again for giving us this opportunity to conduct, and we all the like day 1 and day 5, I was there. Day 2 and day 4, I think it was Satish, and then day 3, it was Anugrah. We all loved it. I also collected a lot of feedback from other people, and we were also very happy delivering all of this in association with BIT. So thank you so much for your active participation. And then we do, such programs very often. So I'm also glad that, we've seen at least 30 people, even associated till the last day. So which is like already speaks a lot about everything. So thank you so much once again, Netra ma'am, Suma ma'am, and everybody, entire BIT management. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, Aman, for your kind words. We request all the participants to turn on their cameras so that we can have a screenshot of everybody. It will be like a group photo, what we can reserve.
But camera is not enabled for us, ma'am. Yeah, I'll just do now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just a moment. We'll be enabling the camera also.
And you can always reach out to us on this number also if you have any queries in the future, anything you want to learn, or even a bare minimum guidance also. You can always reach out.
Yeah, the camera is enabled now. So everyone please turn on the camera so that we can have a good photo.
Really, it was
Request all to
an
turn on
excellent
your
session, sir.
cameras, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. One second. Please turn on. If anybody turning on, please turn on. I'll take one more.
Once again, ma'am.
Is all ready? Please let us know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
So we are going to close this session with a vote of thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. So I, Netravati B, Assistant Professor, Department of CSC, take this opportunity to deliver vote of thanks for this enlightening faculty development program on
Thank you, ma'am.
agentic
Thank you.
AI and generative AI. First and foremost, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Naman Sinha, Senior Software Engineer, Fractal, Satish V, Software Engineer at Serkana, Anugrah Pratap Singh, Senior DevOps Engineer, Wipro Technologies, for accepting our invitation and sharing their profound knowledge, practical insights, and futuristic perspectives. Thank you all, sir. I would also like to specially acknowledge Mr. Naman, who was very instrumental in introducing the core speakers for this FTP and ensuring smooth coordination throughout the sessions. Thank you, sir. A special note of thanks to our respected principal, management, Okkaligara Sangha, Raja Okkaligara Sangha, for all the support extended, whose encouragement and support made this program possible. And we, the coordinators of this FTP, would like to thank our HOD, Sunita KR Madam, Dr. Sunita KR Madam, for her support, and Dr. Girija J, Professor, Department of CSC, for guiding us throughout for meticulously planning and successfully organizing this FTP. We also try to convey our thanks to all the faculty members and technical staff of our department. So before we formally close, I kindly request the participants to share your valuable feedback with the help of the feedback form for this today's program. We, the coordinators, Netravati V and Sumail, thank all the participants. Your enthusiasm, engaging questions, and active involvement made this FTP truly meaningful. You turned it into a platform of collaboration and learning. Thank you all.
Thank you, Naman, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So, dear participants, we are just
Thank
going
you, ma'am.
to.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. We are just going to just create a drive link so that we are just going to share all the materials. All 5 days materials will be shared within that drive link. Also, the feedback and quiz will be just mandatory. Based on that, Naman sir, when will you just announce the top 3 you said, na?
Yeah, we will announce it early next week, ma'am.
Maybe next week. Okay, fine. So
Yeah.
within like another 4 to 5 working days, you could actually expect your certificates. So
Right, ma'am.
And regarding any
Right.
queries related to this session or certificates or anything, so you can please contact us, either me, Netravati V, or Suma, the coordinators of this FTP, where you can find the contact of us on the brochure.
So maybe next Wednesday we will be just giving all the resources, also the certificates. So thank you everyone for actively participating in this throughout the session, actually throughout the FDP. So thank you everyone. We are formally closing the ceremony now. Naman, thank you so much once
Thank you,
again.
ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for
So
all
we
the
expect the
organizers
same
of
kind of
DIT.
Yeah, please.
Yetiraj was active participant. Only Manoj Yetiraj was actually were the active participant.
Myself, actually,
Thank
my
you,
son
sir.
is studying in CSC, BIT, ma'am.
Oh,
Manoj was
fine.
there.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
he
Okay.
entered.
His
I'm a
father. Oh, fine.
I'm
Okay.
working in government college.
Anybody?
Professor in. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody, if you would like to speak anything,
Really, it was an very good organizing team, and all the resource persons are excellent. And especially Naman sir, well, once he started the initial day from till today, his energy is superb. Thanks a lot, sir, Naman sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you. All the resource persons are very excellent in each and every topic, ma'am. It was very useful and very informative. Thanks again. I'm congratulating all the organizers for such a wonderful FDP, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody?
okay, might be that nobody want, no, like any, none of you have any queries regarding it. Or else, if you don't want to speak, let us close this session formally.
Yes.
Naman sir, we'll wind up, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much once again,
Okay.
all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
sir. Thank
much,
you
sir.
a lot, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you.